Therapy has become the go-to solution for almost every problem that modern people face, from lack of meaning to relationship challenges to, yes, anxiety and depression. But is therapy really the best fit for everybody, especially for men? Therapy as we know it today has undergone a significant evolution from where it started. Originally, it was rooted in a more problem-solving, action-oriented framework. But therapy was originally designed as a medical model to treat mental illness. It was about diagnosis, medication, symptom management, solving a problem. Over time, it's morphed into something very different. The 60s happened, and suddenly therapy was all about feelings, emotions, deep diving into your childhood. This shift created a model skewed heavily towards female experiences and communication styles. Yes, Sigmund Freud began back working with women, and they dove into relationships, hidden memories, but that wasn't the entire purpose. It was supposed to fix problems. Now, don't get me wrong. Therapy can be helpful. Even modern day humanistic, the client is the expert therapy can still have a purpose for some people in some circumstances. But for many men, it feels like a never-ending session of venting and emotional exploration without any tangible results, core changes that make their life circumstances better. In another way, it's like paying for a subscription to complain. Most men are not interested in this. This is why a lot of men either don't go or drop out fairly quickly. Let me say it a different way. Modern therapy, with its focus on feelings and just examining past experiences without tangible changes today, can feel like a dead end for many men. And these are men who are at the end of their rope, who are frustrated, who are concerned, and they want answers to make changes in their life. The last thing they need is wasted time. So is this a video against therapy? Well, I used to be a psychotherapist for many, many years. 6 years to get my master's degree, 3 years of apprenticeship to get the license, a 9-year process. And I served years as a therapist and I loved it. But the problem was that we were encouraged not to push through and solve problems for people. They were supposed to be the experts. They were supposed to solve their own problems. And for many people, that ended up very frustrating for them. I had to change my approach and I adopted a more coaching mentality, which is what I do today. I focus on coaching instead. In this video, I want to help you understand if therapy hasn't been for you, if maybe it's made things worse or confusing, or it's just wasted $10,000 and 10 years and you've gone through 4 therapists without getting results, why coaching might be a smarter approach to you. First, let's examine why therapy might be holding you back. And this is going to be an honest discussion. I welcome your feedback down in the comments. If you feel I stray off, please let me know. I'm here to talk. My first real concern with modern therapy is the overwhelming feminine influence. Look, I love women. I'm married. I got 3 daughters. I got a sister and a niece. I am surrounded by women in my life. I love women and I love that feminine energy. But modern therapy's focus on emotions and processing verbally instead of leading into solutions and solving problems is a massive issue. Many women do process emotionally and verbally out loud. They're supposed to be doing this with aunts, cousins, friends, sisters, moms, other people who are around them. Instead, they're doing this with therapy. We're going to talk about that here in a minute, but instead they're doing that processing with a therapist. So they're paying money to do what they should be doing with a confidant. Your therapist becomes a paid confidant, and that's not what men are looking for. Modern therapy with humanistic focus has shifted hard in that direction. And it's not that women even want this. Sigmund Freud began psychotherapy working almost primarily with affluent, wealthy women, trying to help sort through the reasons they were having difficult emotions and then get them to a better place. That was the purpose. Today, you're supposed to just sit in those feelings, wallow in them, fall into them over and over and over deeply for an hour every week and get rewarded for it, then pay a subscription, come back and do it again. Which brings me to problem number 2, the venting culture. Modern therapy becomes a space for venting frustrations and complaining rather than a catalyst for action. And what that creates is a venting society where everybody now expects everybody else to react like their therapist has. Have you noticed that people are out there in the world getting angry if you aren't their therapist? If you don't validate every thought and every feeling they've ever had, no matter where they are in the political spectrum, you have to validate everything they've ever felt, or you're a bad person. People are over-therapized. They are infantilized by this overabundance of humanistic therapy. That's the problem. Now, what this creates is dependency. An over-reliance on therapy creates a sense of helplessness and dependence. When you are venting to somebody, you are actually bonding to them. And as much as psychotherapy wants to pretend they're not going to bond to you, or that you're going to just like, nope, it's fine, we'll put it in a box. No, you have enormous power over this person's life. They are bonding hormonally to you. If you just let them vent to you every week and then they feel a little better, they're going to keep coming back and paying a subscription model when they should be doing that again with people in their life. They should be sharing with people in their life and then using that to deepen those relationships. If you have a 5-year relationship with your therapist, that is a wasted effort because that therapist will not be around for the rest of your life. That's 5 years you could have plugged into building a relationship with a sibling, a cousin, a friend, a partner, somebody else. Now, another major problem, lack of accountability. Many good therapists are out there, you guys. I don't mean this to sound like there's only bad therapists. There's good therapists, but they're also only hearing one side of the story. Plenty of people, and I know this from experience, go into therapy and pitch this overwhelming pain story about how everything bad has been done to them and they are the perfect person in their life. Sometimes it's so over the top, you can spot it very easily. Other times they just portray a horrible image of their spouse and use this as a session to feel validated without telling you that they've been cheating on their spouse 18 different times in the course of their 5-year marriage. They don't tell you that, but their spouse looks like a horrible person for yelling at them. Why is their spouse yelling at them? Sometimes for awful reasons. Sometimes it turns out maybe for valid reasons. But validating that person over and over and over and over, then they go home and they tell their spouse, well, my therapist agrees with me and says that you're a horrible person. I've actually had that experience early on as a young therapist, hearing the stories of, whoa, and thinking, wow, this is terrible. This is awful. I'm so sorry. It sounds to me like your partner's doing what sounds like very toxic, maybe borderline abusive behaviors. Have you talked to them about these concerns? Have you shared these with them? Why do you think this might be happening? Can we fix some of this? Here's some different things to try. And then the partner comes in, and often they're like, I need you to understand the real story because here's what's really happening. They have their version. I have mine. And sometimes this is the partner controlling. Yes. Other times they actually come in and say, did they tell you that they've had 6 affairs? Did they tell you that they commit domestic violence? Did they tell you that they are X, Y, and Z? And the person's sitting there like feeling bad. And I'm like, well, is this true? Is all this information true? Yes, it's all true. No, this was not shared with me. That does change things a little bit. I'd like to work with both of you on resolving this. I try to roll with it like that. But honestly, it's so hard to understand what pieces might be fully missing until you actually get the real story. Validating those people can actually make their marriage fall apart. The focus for most therapy models, especially the humanistic ones, is on the past. Therapy delves deep into childhood experiences and past traumas. While this can be therapeutic at times, you definitely need to understand, okay, here's how the past connects to this. When I do my coaching sessions, it's tell me a little bit about your past, tell me about your present. Okay, this is how they fit together. Here's what we're going to do. But instead of one session like that, it might be 6 months. It might be 3 years. I have some clients who come in and say, I have spent 5 years doing inner child work and investigating my past, and I'm sick of it. Please don't talk to me about the past. Years, you guys. At what point does it become too much? Now, yes, all of this, guys, it can be cathartic. It can be cathartic to have someone to talk to. But is therapy about having someone to talk to? Is that a good thing? Who else should people be talking to? Is somebody paying money to a therapist so that they don't actually go build the relationships that will foster a better life? That's my concern, is dependence on a therapist instead of building deeper, committed, bonded relationships. As an attachment specialist, as the attachment specialist, I cannot stand quietly and just watch people build dependent, subscription-based friendships that are going to break their heart and leave them off worse than they were before. And I think it's irresponsible of any therapist out there who allow that. If your clients have been cycling on you for years and years and years, and they're not building other relationships that replace you, you are not doing your job adequately. And that's the biggest concern about why I feel like I need to speak out about a lot of modern therapy, is because we have fostered dependence. Again, this is not saying there are no good therapists. I know some wonderful, amazing former colleagues who are fantastic at their job and they care about their clients and they do not foster dependence. I also know that I and other clinicians who move through very quickly in systems and solving problems and getting people through their diagnoses and then pointing them back at their clients, if you do that, Oftentimes your clinic will come to you and say, you are not retaining clients long enough. You need to be retaining them longer. And you say, that is called insurance fraud. They are already finished with their diagnosis. And they say, nope, someone can always have a new diagnosis. Again, insurance fraud. Keep in mind, you guys, it's a medical system. It's a healthcare system. You are supposed to be resolving a diagnosis. That's the role of therapy. Resolve a diagnosis. If you go to your therapist for meaning of life, that's the role that, for example, religion or philosophy is supposed to cover. You shouldn't be getting religion and philosophy from a healthcare provider. You should be getting it from a leader, mentor, a guide, a priest or pastor or an imam or a rabbi or anybody, any of the other structures of training these things. There are people who can teach you in that, who can coach you even, if you want to think of it that way. If you need relationship skills, yes, you might be able to learn that from a therapist, but maybe actually a relationships coach or a communications coach might be more effective. I have a speaking coach that I work with. They're fantastic. Actually, I have two that I've worked with over the years. They're wonderful, and they've really helped my communication improve. I didn't go to a therapist to learn how to communicate more effectively. I went to coaches. Coaches are supposed to train you. Mentors, guides, teachers, all of that. I think therapy has usurped that role, and we need to put therapy back in the corner where it belongs so it can serve its deep purpose and get people back into the field to build real relationships instead of staying dependent on a therapist for 20 years. Now, when I say coaching, what do I mean? Let's talk about a more solution-focused approach that I think can take space back from where therapy has been. Not to replace therapy, because therapy has a purpose, working specifically to resolve diagnoses and getting people back to zero. But when they are at zero and they want to go from 0 to 100, who comes in? This is where coaching, teaching, training, guiding, etc. really steps in. A coach, for example, can be a trainer for various aspects of your life. Coaching, it's like a personal trainer. Let's say you go to the gym. You're not sure how to use the equipment. You're not sure how to build your muscles. You're not sure how to build your fitness. You're not sure how to build your diet, whatever it might be. Are you going to hire a therapist? No, you're probably not going to go to a physical therapist who says, you're not injured. You don't need to be here. You're going to go to a nutrition trainer, nutritionist. You're going to go to a personal trainer, except for different muscles, different things, different skill sets. Okay. It's a personal trainer for your relationship, a personal trainer for your life and your purpose, a personal trainer for your heart, a personal trainer to help you boost your happiness in romance. Okay. It's about actively working toward goals rather than talking about them and why you can't reach them. Put another way, if an athlete wants to achieve a new goal that they can't reach yet, do they go to a physical therapist and say, fix my injuries that don't exist? Or do they hire a coach who can help train them to reach that goal? Right? Michael Jordan didn't get where he is from therapy. He got there from coaches, right? Think of it that way. With coaching, there's also very clear goals. Now, therapy is supposed to set up clear goals, but they constantly shift. They're a little bit not targeted where they need to be. It's like, well, we're going to technically work on this so that insurance is happy, but we're kind of also going to work on this, but secretly we're going to, right? With coaching, clear goals. What do you want to do? Okay, that's what we're going to help you do. Unlike traditional therapy methods, coaching helps you set and clarify from the day one exactly what you truly want to achieve. Most coaches won't work with you unless you have a clear definition on what you want to achieve. I don't know. I'm just here. Just going to pay you. I kind of just don't like where things are at. I don't know. Just something. No, a coach is going to say, I don't know what to tell you. Please come back when you have a plan, or let's figure out a plan. Let's try to refine that. Coaching gives you a focus to make a tangible difference that you can then start tracking more effectively. Again, some therapy structures do this, very few, and not very many practitioners. And it's hard to sort the thousands of practitioners who won't from the couple who will. Accountability is another big one with coaching. Regular check-ins to ensure you stay motivated and on track. Make sure you don't lose sight of your objectives. Most therapists don't pop in and say, hey, did you do your homework from last week? They don't even usually give you homework. If they do, did you give your homework from last week? Why didn't you do it? What's going on? No, that would be abrasive and hurt the therapeutic relationship. Well, how'd things go? Did you feel like you did anything different this week? Okay, well, that's fine. Maybe you're just not ready. We'll talk about it again in 3 months. Skill development is another area, by the way, guys. Coaching offers very specific tools and strategies tailored to your needs that enhances your ability to succeed. Now, listen, if you're sitting here saying therapy can do that, I was a solution-focused therapist. I was trained in cognitive behavioral therapy, really focused for measuring, for targeting goals. I was trained in all of those things in a variety of methods. I know that therapy can. I also know the vast majority that's not what it is. And so when a man goes out and says, I want to get therapy, and he says, I want a solution-focused approach, his goal and his actual reality of doing that is slim to none. It's very hard to find a therapist who's going to give you a consistent solution-focused approach. You're going to have to wade through therapist after therapist after therapist after therapist who's not that way, who just wants to talk about feelings before you maybe find someone who is more solution-focused like that. It's hard. Action orientation is rare in the therapeutic world. It's not impossible, but again, it's rare and hard to find. How do you sort the ones who are and are not, besides just going to them and paying an endless amount of money? Most of you may not know that your first session with a therapist is supposed to cost at least about $350, and that's called a diagnostic assessment. Now, you can move that from therapist to therapist within 1 year, but that's the first session, and they bill you almost double or triple even just for that diagnostic assessment, which usually then gets divvied up for the clinic. Insurance have to fight over it. There's all kinds of problems. But guys, imagine doing that over and over. Most of you don't know you can move your diagnostic assessment. So most people will say, well, I'll pay this therapist $350, that therapist $350, that therapist $350, that therapist $350, that therapist $350. Wow, that's like $1,500, and I have 5 therapists that didn't work. Most people are very frustrated at this point. Okay, this is why a lot of guys don't go, or they stop very quickly. That action orientation is crucial. The male brain is designed to observe a problem in the back and act upon the problem in the front. Observe, immediately act upon. The channels are worn back and forth. Observe, act upon. When we can't, we develop learned helplessness. This is where depression starts to kick in. Modern therapy often makes depression worse for men rather than making it better. The primary focus on coaching is to take concrete steps toward improvement now, or the coach feels like they have failed you. Okay? Coaches are driven. They're obsessed with results. I know I am. And they love to help you achieve it. And if you don't, they don't get mad at you. They get frustrated with themselves. It's okay. How have I not enhanced this person's chances to succeed? Maybe it's got to be more measurable, more targeted. What problems do we need to overcome? And they're like, yes, we will help you achieve. That's the goal of a coach. It's not to kick back in an office, check in. Yep. How you doing this week? How you feeling? How do you feel about that? Tell me more. Okay, come back next week. That's not a coach. Like, most coaches are itching to get you the results that you're looking for. Most. Okay. It's not just about understanding your issues. Yes, that's cool. What are you going to do about it? And then who are you going to have writing you so that you actually get there? If you want to achieve success, accountability is mandatory and action orientation is crucial. Now, beyond just guidance, coaches often serve as mentors as well, showing their personal experience and wisdom to support your journey. Many coaches have been there. When I went through and was a therapist specializing in attachment and trauma, and I had experienced attachment issues and trauma, all of my trauma clients said, Adam, it means a big difference that you also have been through all of this before, and that you can share a little bit about that with me, because I actually feel like I can trust you. It made a huge difference. Many therapists go into therapy because they're told, you're a good listener. You should be a therapist. So they go and they listen, and they bill you for it on a subscription basis. Coaches should have been there. They have done it. They've helped other people do it. And now they're going to help you do it. That's the difference. Coaching is about empowerment. It's designed to build your confidence and equip you with the skills to handle challenges independently. You shouldn't have a coach forever. You should have a coach to achieve goals. And that's why coaching is usually time limited. How many times have you gone into a therapist and they said, okay, you get 8 sessions. We're going to get through this together. We will finish it by those end of that 8 sessions. I'm going to make sure that your goals are hit. With structured goals and clear milestones, coaching provides direction and a sense of accomplishment for you as you progress. And it's time limited to get you through. Most couples come in to me and say, okay, we've been in couples therapy for about 3 years. I really think, I don't know that anything's going to work. And I say, we can take care of this. It takes about 8 sessions. And they go, how could you possibly know that? And I say, because I've worked on thousands and thousands of couples, and I've run this program over and over and over. It's an exact program tailored to you, yes, but an exact program to help you resolve your issues. By about session 4 or 5, depending on your problem, the two of you are actually going to feel very positive about each other. And then you're going to say, well, wow, the fires are out. We're relaxed and we're not screaming at each other. What more do we have to fix? And the next 3 sessions, or to build you a marriage that is wonderful. So it's not just not screaming. It's in 8 sessions, we will go from yelling, fighting, and miserable to truly happy, fulfilled, and independent, where you don't need somebody to come in and rescue you in 6 months. 8 sessions. Let's get this done. Most people love to hear that. And you know what? Most people love it more when we finish those 8 sessions and they say, Adam, you did it. You did it, you magnificent, crazy person. What did you do? How did you get this through in 8 sessions? And I say, you were there. That's what a coach is supposed to achieve for you. Now, this is the coaching advantage over therapy. While therapy certainly has its place, again, I'm not saying it doesn't. It often focuses on discussing problems and feeling a little better temporarily without necessarily pushing towards actionable solutions. Many people find therapy to be less practical and more introspective, which can be limiting when it comes to making real world changes, especially because you're going in for a diagnosis and fixing that, but you're actually resolving 47 other things that the therapist thinks you're not doing right. Coaching, what do you want to fix? That's what I fix. Glad you're here. Let's do it. This is where coaching shines. Now, coaching is especially ideal for men because men seek practical, solution-focused guidance. Coaching offers that dynamic and effective approach to personal development with targeted goals and exact measurable success. It's a practical, solution-focused approach. It prioritizes actionable steps, practical solutions right there to satisfy that male need for let's get this done. It's ideal for those who are looking to make significant changes in a structured, goal-oriented manner, which is most men, and frankly, a lot of women too. I will say this, coaching provides a much more direct path to achieving your goals by combining clarity, accountability, and practical strategies. Therapy will take you from -10 up to 0. Coaching is supposed to take you from 0 to 100. Okay. It's about moving beyond discussions and just healing into real action to build a better life for yourself and achieve your targets. If you're looking to make significant strides in your personal and your professional life, coaching offers a compelling and effective alternative to traditional therapy. If you want to be a better corporate executive and lead your team and hit revenue targets, you probably don't need therapy. You probably need a coach who helps you in leadership. So let me ask you this. Maybe you're watching this because you've been frustrated in the past with therapy. Maybe you haven't gone to therapy. Maybe you did. It helped you fix a diagnosis. Wonderful. I'm so glad that it was there for you. That's what it's for. But are you ready to take charge of your personal growth? You're probably not going to find that success in therapy. I would love to hear from you. Share your thoughts and experiences about therapy with me in the comment sections below. Or, you know what? If you are ready to take a step and ready to work on coaching, you just want to learn more about coaching, or maybe what my coaching program with me or with my personal coaches that I'm hand training, if you want to learn what they can do for you in a few short sessions, shoot me an email on support@adamlanesmith.com. You can email me there. You can Instagram DM me. That's a great place as well. Or just drop it in the comment sections below. Consider exploring how coaching can help you reach your full potential. For more personal guidance, reach out and see how coaching can transform your life. The worst that's going to happen is you email me and say, Adam, here's the frustration I've had in my marriage or in my dating life for 5-10 years now. Tell me what you think could solve this. And I'll say, cool. Let me ask you some questions. Okay. Here's what I think you need. Here's how long it's going to take to learn that and fix it. Here's the outcome that you should achieve. Do you want to do this with me? That's what's going to happen. No high pressure sales pitch, just clear understanding about exactly what you need and how long it's going to take. Let me know if you want that. Therapy and coaching, guys, they're not mutually exclusive. It's not one or the other. I stopped being a therapist because I love this coaching approach. I think this is more directive and this is what the world needs. But I am very grateful to my colleagues who are out there providing help for people who have real mental health diagnoses, who are facing massive problems, and they need help on that immediately so that they can hit 0 and then start building from there. I think it's a system where we both have to be operating. We just need to get therapy back to where it belongs and have all the other range of beautiful human relationships, mentorships, guidance, training, coaching, everything available for people. And we need a consistent system people can believe in. Okay. Many individuals do benefit from a combination of both approaches, but very few people benefit from only getting therapy. You need coaching in there somewhere as well. Men seeking practical solutions, especially in tangible results, coaching, it can be a better option for you if you're trying to go from 0 to 100 and achieve lasting impact. Guys, I'm Adam Lane Smith, the attachment specialist. I served for years as a therapist. Now I'm here to coach. You let me know if you need my help. Drop a comment below or reach out in emails or DMs. I am here.